These are pretty nice, man. I like them. I like how they're a little dressy. You know, they feel a little more formal. There, we got a pair of Crocs for the change. These, you know, where did I put my blade? I lost my blade. There it is. So these are the Swiftwater Crocs. These were new to me. I stumbled across them on eBay. It's often how I find whatever I buy. Browsing on eBay. So there was like a gray pair I came across. They didn't have my size in the gray, and they were used, but they looked pretty cool. So I started searching that model, excuse me, and I found a black pair that was new. And this was another model that the prices fluctuated because I don't think it's a current model either. Pretty sure it's discontinued. So I was kind of limited in terms of my sizing options, and I found a new pair of 13s. And the research that I was able to do had mentioned that they run small and to go up. So I did that. And again, these look used. You got the crease on the cross the toe. These look heavily worn to be creased that much, because these are pretty firm. The soles look new though. I don't really see any wear on the sole much. Hang on, let me zoom out a little bit. I think I'm kind of close. There we go. So let's get a quick look at them before I dive in. So they're kind of a leather upper, and it looks like there's kind of a solid layer underneath the leather. Here's my other light, so we can peer into the void. There it is. Get a look at the sole. All right. So it's pretty solid. There's no gibbet holes on the top. There we go. That's perfect. We got some ventilation holes on the side. It's a little dusty in there. I don't know if that's sock lint. These definitely look like they've been worn. But they're not in bad shape though. There's a little patch of leather on the back. The heel strap. These are dusty. Definitely dusty. They've been sitting for a while. But they're in pretty good shape though. Leather on the strap also. Some Velcro. Looks like we got the all-terrain type of strap on it. So it's adjustable. And kind of a classic footbed it appears. Looks like it's got some good ergos. I think that was one thing I read when I was researching it, is people mentioned that it had good arch support and that it was like a little more like form-fitting, I guess you could say. And that's why they recommended to go up in size, because it fit a little more snug than the Classic Crocs. So hopefully that works out to my advantage, since the only sizing option that I had for like new, quote unquote new, was this 13. So they don't look too bad. Definitely have to clean them up a little bit, knock off some of the dust. So they're in good shape. So here's the vents. We got vents on each side. That's just for looks, that doesn't go through. And then we got a vent here and a vent there also. So those little areas are cut out in the croslite underneath this leather. Looks like we got a reinforced toe, and there's the whole front underside of this Croc is a rubber insert. So it's probably going to be a little firmer underneath up there. Though there's a injection point there, so you know, it doesn't really feel Yeah, it is a different material. I was gonna say, it might just be a different color croslite. But it does feel a little rubbery, especially with this tread. So I'll know when I get it on foot. Yeah, that's kind of a rubbery insert. But it's a little softer of a rubber. It doesn't feel too far apart from the croslite, but it's definitely a different material, I believe. So the tread pattern's pretty decent on it. Relatively aggressive. You've kind of got the leaf going on. Crocs tends to do that. They'll have kind of a leaf pattern for the tread. This is no different. We got our stem and some little leaves coming out. So it's kind of nice. I like that. I dig that tread pattern. These are pretty good, man. I don't know what the retail was on these. I will research that as I'm editing this footage, and I will post the retail price versus what I paid. So there's some nice attention to detail on these, though. I like the stitching, like the little cross stitching up there. So these aren't bad, man. I like how these look. I like the aesthetics on them, and that's what grabbed my attention first, was the aesthetics on them. The pair I looked at, I think it was all gray. So where this black leather is on the front, it was just gray. So, but I dig that look. I dig that look. That nice leather look. This is going to be another pair of low-key Crocs. Or if you have a pant leg over top of it, people aren't going to know you're wearing Crocs. So these are pretty stylish. Let's take a look at the other one real quick, just for quality control. And check it for blemishes. Doesn't look too bad. We got a couple little scratches on the top. This one, there's a little bit of a crease right here, but the rest of it looks pretty good. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. I don't think these were ever worn outside, the previous owner. So if they did walk around in them at all, I don't think they walked around much. They're in good shape. And for the got a loose thread there. But for the condition that they're in, that's fine. I won't complain. And the fact that it's kind of a discontinued model, I'll take what I can get. So that's the Swiftwater Bros in hand. Let's throw them on foot and see how they fit. So these definitely have a Yukon vibe going. The Crocs Yukon model, you know, it's got that upper, that leather upper on them. I tried on a pair of the Yukons in the Crocs store. I've got a Crocs store a little south of me, not far, about a half hour or so, and they had the Yukons in store. And I went and tried on a pair, and I didn't really care for them too much. They look nice, but I don't know. I wasn't sold on them when I tried them on in the Crocs store. So these aren't too bad. First impressions on foot, they definitely have a nice arch to them. I can feel that arch, and it's nice and it's where it needs to be. Anybody who just watched the Martian video on those New Balance Martians, I complained about the location of the arch. And these are exactly where that arch needs to be. So the toe box has nice room to it. These are pretty nice, man. I like them. I like how they're a little dressy. You know, they feel a little more formal. So these have a really nice footbed to them. I'm really appreciating the arch support and the ergonomic footbed that they've got going. So, and I like the dressy look. These look like a nice pair of like leather dress shoes, kind of, just on the toe. They really don't flex at all. I'm surprised that there's any sort of crease on these, because like even if I try to flex them, it doesn't want to really flex. So I don't know what those Yeah, there, see just a little bit of a crease mark there when I push it forward. So these have definitely been used for a little while, but like when I walk in them though, my foot just shifts in it and it doesn't really crease much. So these are pretty firm, pretty solid as far as the upper goes. It's definitely the firmer footbed, but the better ergos. So they went with kind of a firmer croslite, I think. It might just be that rubber on the front, since it's taken up so much of the outsole. It just kind of consumes the characteristic of the footbed. It's got a little bit of squish to it, but not much. And then I can't really feel much of a difference between the front half and the back half in terms of the softness. The back might have a little more squish to it, not having that rubber underneath it, but it's still pretty firm. It doesn't have the standard softness of a basic Croc. So, I mean, it's maybe in the heel. No, it's a little firmer. Maybe it's relative. It's higher. The heel's a little more elevated than the Classics. So it's got a little squish to the heel. It's hard to say if it's firmer or not. It's probably just the regular Croslite. It just feels a little firmer, just in its form, compared to the standard Croc. So we'll go with that. We'll say it's the standard Croslite in the heel, but the front half is a little firmer. So. All right. What was I saying? The sizing feels good. I think I did the right thing by going up a size, because it fits my foot very well. I don't think I'm going to be able to depress the toe, maybe a little bit. So yeah, that's not bad. I've got some good wiggle room. I got a good half-inch, good thumb width between the end and my toe. So I don't know how the 12s would fit, if the 12s would be better, but the 13s aren't bad. So if your only option, I guess, is to go up a size, then maybe do so. But I can't speak for whether or not these are true to size. You know, I can't speak for whether or not the 12s would have been good. I feel like I have ample room with the 13s, that I might have been okay with the 12s, but this might be one of those models though too that like it'll work, but it's not ideal. Like those energy running vest Crocs, those were kind of a smaller 12 to where they work, but I wish I had a little more space in them. So same thing with like the Atlas and with the all-terrain and the off-road. Those all run a little small. So I have a feeling that these probably would have fallen into that category too. I'm glad I sized up on it, because I think if I had gone with the 12s, that they would be a little snug, that I would be wishing for some more space. But I do appreciate the ergos of these though. These are pretty nice. They are good. They look clean. They are definitely a low-key Croc. With these pants, I think they look like Crocs, but if I had something baggy that was hanging over the top half of it, I think these would kind of disguise as like a dress shoe almost. But these are pretty good though. If I could change anything about it, I wish it was a little softer, because they are rather firm. So I don't know if by eliminating that front rubber layer, that whole area, it does have pretty good traction. If that would have made it a softer, you know, if they would have just taken like the classic model and thrown this leather upper on it, if that would have been better, but there's like no flex on that whole front half, so they're a little firm. But I mean, they still work, just in terms of like how could they be improved, or you know, like if I could complain about it, what would I complain about? Just the firmness of them. There's not much flex to the overall form in the upper, so I'm used to a little softer of a Croc. But other than that, though, I like the way these fit. I like the way these look. So if you're thinking about them and looking at them, they're not a bad buy. Regarding the size, I think going up is the size to go with. Just regarding the amount of space that I have between my toes on the side here and the front. So that's always, I can usually go more with my my big toe in terms of like space, whereas I tend to run into issues on the side with Crocs when they're too small, because these toes will kind of get bunched up on the side a little bit. And just sliding forward a little bit, I got about a 1/2 inch of clearance before my toes start to hit the side. I still have another 1/2 inch of clearance up on the big toe to where I could go forward even more. But in terms of like the side here, it's pretty good. So I think had I gone down to the 12s, that I would be running into that issue that I run into with the other models that I just mentioned, with those toes kind of pressing up against the end. So I think going up is the correct sizing information on these. And that's also based on the reviews that I read too. People had commented that these don't fit like other Crocs do, and that's for sure. They don't. I would say the toe box is just as roomy as other Crocs go. And I mean the rest of them, the rest of the clog, I think feels relative, except for the heel and the arch support. The heel's raised up a little bit, and there's more of substantial of an arch support. But other than that, I think it's pretty relative to the way Crocs feel, or standard Crocs fit. But I think it feels a little narrower too, like right where the strap is. I want to say that like regular Crocs feel like they're a little wider right there. That it just feels a little kind of pinched, like right here. I mean, it's not tight on me, but just in terms of like comparison to other Crocs, yeah, that area is a little roomier, right where the rivets kind of go with the strap. So that is one thing about these worth noting, that, yep, it's a little pinched right there. It's not bad, but I can see that being an issue with people who have white feet. And if they go true to size, I think that might be a little snug in that spot. So that might also be another reason to go up in size, is just the width of that area. And that kind of coincides with where the bulk of your arch support is too, because it kind of comes in from the sides there. You know, sometimes like the arch support it'll cut in at the sides right there where the arch is, or you'll have like a rise in the center of it, like with these infinity slides. That's how those fit. They've got like a rise in the middle of it, and then it crowns down on each side. The arch support on these, it curves in from the sides, but then it also goes across the center of it. It's not just a side arch support. It's also a centered arch support. All right. I cannot ramble anymore. I've rambled all that I can ramble about the Swiftwaters. So we will wrap it up. These are pretty good. These are good. I recommend them if you can find them. If not, the Yukon is probably your closest bet, though I think these are better than the Yukon. I think that was one of, like, it just came to mind. The Yukons are very narrow, I think, in terms of, like, why I didn't really care for those when I tried them on. I think they were really narrow as far as, like, Crocs went. You know, it didn't have the standard Croc width to it, so I think that was my gripe against the Yukons, but these are very, very reminiscent of the Yukons, having the leather on the upper. But I think these are better than the Yukons, just in terms of the ergos. They got some good ergos to them, good arch support. So, all right, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below on your thoughts and opinions and experiences with the Swiftwater clog from Crocs. If you have anything to add to the video, please let me know. I appreciate people when they share the comments and stuff. It's always very informative and enlightening regarding whatever model is at hand. So I tend to learn more from the viewers than I do on my own research. So with all that being said, please leave a comment and let me know what's on your mind. So until next time, cheers. We'll see you.